Hey y'all, I am Victor E, and I wanted to share with you guys some stuff that I've kind of been moving through and exploring, and some other things that were brought to my attention. Um, so it's been kind of, I mean, it feels weird saying this, especially I'm usually a very quiet and reserved kind of guy. Very I prefer to keep to myself, or I have at least for a long time. Um, and a while ago, I was kind of going through um going through some stuff, and I was very into conspiracy theories and things of that nature. But like, especially from the perspective I have now, I was going through a lot of my own fears and anxieties about the world that I was living in, and more than that, or deeper than that, is the mindset I was in. And what's been kind of made clear to me, the way I like to interpret my kind of purpose or my goal, my mission, whatever you want to call it, is to um, kind of act as a bridge between, some kind of mindset and then a more, let's say, spiritual, just a different kind of mindset. A lot of the terminology that you might hear today might be new. That you will hear today might be kind of new, might be kind of woo woo or whatever. And I just ask that you keep an open mind. Um, and if you heard of this stuff before, then it'll be nothing new. It just might be some more information. So there are a few different ways of looking at what we're currently going through. And in the more spiritual community, it's referred to as like the 3D, the 4D, the 5D. The 3D being, like in the rat race kind of mentality and mindset, going through life, having life kind of happen at us. The 4D being like more of the conspiracy side, more of like behind the scenes, like the woke shit. And then the 5D is like the more spiritual side of like, everything happens for a reason. Life is a place where we're walking each other home, and being very it's like a place of unconditional love. It's a mindset, it's a consciousness, it's a state of being more than like a place or a thing. So we're gonna use the virus that's going around right now. Let's see, I labeled it here: 3D, 4D, 5D, and then mandatory vacation and R&R. So what I think is very clear, very predominant in like these communities is that is the masculine energy, right? The do, control, force, dominate, assert. Um, that's been very prevalent over the last few decades, over the last few years, um, is starting to come more into balance with the feminine, which is to say that we've come into the masculine and have been under it, kind of, excuse me, so much that it's come out of balance, and now it's kind of swinging back into the feminine, the feeling, the going with the flow, surrendering, and being more in touch with the external versus the more in touch with the internal versus the external. And so it's going back more towards the feminine to then come back more into like a balance with awareness, rather than being in the masculine and being so present and do that we don't have any sort of self-awareness of ourselves or the world around us, or like the roadmap going forward. So the Rona, from a 3D, is a virus. It's a flu that's going around, and so we have to, I'm going to use that for all three, and so we have to be quarantined. To be teened apostrophe. And so it's going to be probably like very prevalent in the years to come that we get like vaccinations and things like that. Especially we have the virus and what it's kind of doing while we're in this state of rest and, you know, confinement, is that it's kind of bringing to light a lot of the things that are wrong or disadvantageous with our current like socioeconomic system. You know, people are learning that they can work from home, they can have a better, you know, work-life balance. We're learning that, you know, grocery store workers, sanitation staff, especially doctors and nurses, a lot of people who are undervalued in our society are now, you know, essential, right? It brings to light a lot of the things that what I'm kind of seeing is like the CEO taking home hundreds of millions of dollars and then a janitor like not really having a living wage. It kind of brings to light to our awareness, which is kind of like the light worker aspect. It's just working with awareness, different levels of it. It's bringing to light that this system of like grossly imbalanced, we can call like states of income, is not really prudent, right? We have to look more at society as a whole, right? I'm reminded right now of this African proverb, right? If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And like under our current system, a lot of people, or like not really a lot of people, but like there have been people who have been going very fast while society kind of staggers, stumbles, and is even like left behind in some cases, and how those who are being left behind are the most vulnerable, have the most compromised immune systems in our society, and are therefore the most likely to like spread the virus, to get or to be affected by the virus. So it's really bringing to light that we have to take care of one another. From the 4D comes the, again, like still more fear-based, but looking at the deeper truth, or like possibilities of the truth. This one I'm more hesitant to talk about because it's like very conspiracy based, but the thing that was brought to my attention was this video of this guy who like worked for some like cellular company. He was saying that the places where the virus is having the greatest detriment, the greatest effect, is where they're rolling out the 5G networks, and how 5G networks are putting out these radio waves that are affecting our cells, and that the effects that they're having on our body are creating a sort of a kind of purging effect, right? Where like the human body is having a negative reaction to the radio waves that are being put out. Like it's the 5G is for a lot faster connection, and that mobile devices were first implemented to, you know, be mobile, not so people would be stagnant and like inside places. And so the 5G wireless network would be more not pervasive or hard-hitting, but more penetrating into the buildings where we find ourselves, where there's lower connection. Again, very fear-based, but the result is the same, right? For all of these, the result is the same, right? And so we're being quarantined, right? So in order to acclimate the body, for the body to acclimate to these new conditions in our external world, it would be best, it would be more prudent for the body to be in a state of rest and relaxation, the same way that when an animal is wounded, out in the wild, it comes to a safe place where it can rest so its body can heal. And if we're in a safe place resting where our body can heal, then it's more likely to be able to acclimate to the, Illuminati plan or whatever. And so we have to be quarantined or confined to those safe, relaxing places like our home. So the result is the same in the 3D and the 4D. So we have to be quarantined. And then, so that, like, that 4D is kind of like very Illuminati, Freemason, the government behind the government mindset or consciousness. If you're into that, I don't mean to, devalue or undermine what you believe. If you think that shit's crazy, feel free. I don't necessarily agree or disagree. What's needed in either of these, in any of these, in any troubling or challenging situation is a state of inner peace, of calm, right? If I used to take a lot of martial arts, so the thing that I would always hear was the person who has the highest probability of winning is whoever's the calmest, right? In a high intensity situation, the person with the most calm is going to be the one who can have like an open awareness so that they can see what's around them, right? What, in this case, weapons of opportunity, or, what exits are around to get away from the danger, what the, danger itself really is, right? If we look at it from a very fear-based, narrow-minded scope, a very scared scope, it's kind of like fight or flight, this thing is going to kill me mentality. And so instead, if we have an open awareness, keep breathing to activate the, I believe, parasympathetic nervous system to regulate our body and our adrenaline response, then we're more likely to come out of the situation relatively unharmed versus someone who kind of like either freezes, runs into a wall, or tries to fight and they're so scared and frantic that the danger overcomes them. Rather, like, the thing that we were taught in the Marines was slow is smooth, smooth is fast. If you can process what's going on smoothly, you can react and respond very quickly. So no matter what, that quick breath in that moment, I mean, if you know what to do, then you know what to do. But the thing about this is it always comes back to our state of being and state of mind. If we can be calm, cool, and collected, we can overcome it. And the 5D is that place of unconditional love. Conditional love. Where everything is happening for the greater good, right? Life is steps and steps and steps ahead of us, of any clandestine group, right? The vibe, the message that keeps coming in is like, well, man plans, God laughs, life laughs, the universe laughs, because these kind of clandestine groups want to, the story behind them is that they want to control us, they want control, they want power, all these things, but, I don't really see an outcome in the long run where that's, as consciousness continues to evolve and flourish, where that's a hospitable environment for that mentality. Let's put it that way. And so moving through these things, coming from a place of unconditional love, it's, to me, most likely that we can move through anything that comes our way, and anything that happens, even though it looks to be to our detriment in the moment, in the long run, either it forces us to adapt and overcome, or it reveals things that we needed to be aware of, right? The inconvenient truths that we put off, that we turn the other cheek to, like things out in the ocean, all the plastic, all the garbage that's accumulating. There has to be a better way to handle these things. And more than that, I think what's needed is adaptive intelligence, right? The intelligence that, you know, if a light pole or a tree is falling our way, that we can get out of the way. Where we place our energy, our prioritization of energy. If we're constantly on our phones watching mindless garbage-ass TV, then that's energy wasted. That's energy that we're not using to create ourselves, create our life, and move forward with the healthiest state of mind, state of being. And then integrity, right? Whenever those chaotic emotional moments happen, can we stay centered as best as possible to, you know, not move out of that center and say things that we'll regret or do things that we'll regret. Rather, as hard as it may be, to be honest with ourselves, maybe if we've done wrong, to apologize. If someone has done wrong to us, to forgive them, and stay within a more integral state of being, if that makes sense. Okay. And the mandatory vacation thing was like, coming back to the masculine energy, we've been so on our do, produce mindset that life is like, sit the fuck down, take a break, take a breath, rest and recover while we move through this shit. Cool? Cool. All right. If you like this style of video, let me know. There's a lot more, and especially in being that kind of bridge between, you know, the 3D, the 4D, and the 5D that I've been focusing on and studying and practicing over the last few years. If you like more of this content, like, subscribe, tell me. And if you thought it was fucking crazy, speak your piece. I would love to hear it. All right. Hope that helped.